Hi, I'm an architect, or my friends call me Sonia. This is an intro video for what will eventually be my platform for me to just kind of talk about things that I want to talk about. I'm not really tech savvy or even tech interested, so you can probably expect some very low production quality videos from me. Just a little about myself. I am a red diaper baby turned anarchist. I grew up on Marx and now more Malatesta. I'm a seasoned activist and community organizer with about 15 years of experience. I got really heavily active just leading up to the Occupy movement. A lot of that time and experience has been heavily involved in a lot of street medic work. I've done a lot of like boots on the ground protest work, and I've done a lot of harm reduction, mental health first aid. A lot of that time has been spent serving our homeless neighbors with, accessing resources that they might need. I've done a lot of community health education. I've done some trainings in, crash course in medic work, stop the bleed training, first aid, trauma response, things like that. I've also done a lot of community safety and defense training and coordination. Lots of mutual aid work, including food distribution, a lot of disaster relief and recovery and preparedness. And I guess that actually goes all the way back to Hurricane Katrina, which seems like a lifetime ago. Lots of fundraisers and donation drives for things related to all that. But since I became disabled and chronically ill, I've not been so much boots on the ground, but mainly focused on a lot of community education of everything that I've learned. Sticking still with a lot of mutual aid, direct action, which I have somewhat of a different definition of than a lot of people. I think a lot of people consider, my protest work, or they even consider riots to be direct action. And I would say that form of direct action is more so along the lines of begging or even threatening the government into doing what you want them to do. And I've taken more of an approach that is closer to David Graeber's definition, which he says something along the lines of, I'm no longer begging the government to dig us a well. We are going to dig the well ourselves and dare the government to stop us. So a lot of building, systems outside of the government that actually work and don't have means testing. So we also refer to that as building dual power, or even prefiguring the revolution, prefiguring the world that we want to live in. I have a love-hate relationship with labels in general. Even though sometimes they're useful, a lot of times they just get in the way. People have preconceived notions of what they all mean. And I wear a lot of labels. I'm queer, I'm genderqueer. Sometimes you'll see me like this. Sometimes you'll see me in a lot of makeup and a dress. My pronouns are always they, them, regardless. I am disabled, I'm autistic, I'm mentally ill, and I currently bear the label of cancer patient. I've been battling lymphoma for many months now. Not really sure how that's going to work out for me, but here we go. My political labels often change depending on who my audience is. Am I talking to a conservative? Am I talking to a liberal? Am I talking to a fellow radical? Am I talking to an anarchist? Am I talking to a Marxist? And really, I just like to use whatever is conducive to the discussion of the concepts. I'm not really here to do, edgelord or, shock jock kind of things. I just want to have a discussion. And so you'll hear me use labels like anarchist, which at its core, that's what I am. Or specifically, a social anarchist, or a specificist anarchist, as the FARJ in Brazil calls it. You'll hear me say communalist or social ecologist, Murray Bookchin fan, or even the dreaded libertarian socialist. Oh no! They're all so similar, but essentially it boils down to the fact that I want to live in a world free from hierarchy and domination. And I want to live in a world where many worlds fit, as the Zapatistas say. I want to live in a world where humans are in cooperation with one another and not in competition. I want to live in a world where humans understand that they are not apart from nature, but a part of nature, and maybe a steward of nature at absolute most. I believe that the best way to achieve these things is through cooperation and organization, horizontally, of course. And I believe in means ends unity, which is to say that I believe that we cannot use hierarchy to achieve anarchy, because hierarchy only reproduces more hierarchy. I believe that we must begin now building the world that we want to live in, while concurrently and simultaneously dismantling the oppressive one that we have right now. Rather than waiting for the fall before the climb, we are building the new in the shell of the old, and we're doing it now. I believe that a lot of people, in fact, maybe most people, see that the system we have now is fucked up, that they think that it's broken, and we have to argue it's not broken. It's working exactly the way that it was designed, and it's working very well, just for a very few number of people. And we want to build a system that works for all of us. And what I believe is that people aren't going to stop dragging around this rotting corpse of capitalism until we give them an alternative and they can see that it's already in the works, or at least already beginning to look like a better option. And rather than just having it as a concept, we build the systems now that are going to work for us. We build the world now that's going to work for us. And then people will join us. I believe that intersectionality isn't really a matter of like doing the right thing or being nice, as liberals love so much, or even being kind, but it's actually just an absolute necessity for liberation of all of us. And I mean that quite literally. We live in a world under the hierarchy, which is the overlapping, intersecting web of various forms of all forms of oppression and domination. You know, you've got your sexism, racism, homophobia, fat phobia, xenophobia, even capitalism is a hierarchy of who can stack up the most zeros in their account, right? And so because this hierarchy, and because each point of oppression supports and upholds every other point of oppression, we cannot have liberation unless we take down every single one of those points of the hierarchy, of the web, because any of them left will only serve to reproduce more of them. And therefore, I mean it quite literally when I say that my liberation is directly, infrangibly entangled with your liberation and the liberation of everyone else on Earth. So anyway, this will be my platform for me to talk about my experiences and do a deep dive into the nuances of my ideas and opinions and beliefs. And do I think that I have all the right answers? No, of course not. I don't even have all of the questions yet. So join me. Let's explore. I learn and I grow every single day, and so should we all, of course. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Hit that subscribe button if you want to stick around and hear me blab. Bye.